After 7 years of development, Porsche has launched a second, totally revamped generation of the Panamera. The new entry-level engine has less capacity than its predecessor, but more power. And the new Panamera comes with an 8-gear dual-clutch transmission. Our car tester Klaus Nietzsche says it's a real treat to drive this Porsche Panamera and feel it glide along. You can enjoy the car's new entertainment system, its comfy suspension, and engine characteristics.
Die Fahrwerkseinstellung, also die komfortable Fahrwerkseinstellung und auch die Motorcharakteristik genießen.
342 kilowatts of power carry the 2-ton beast from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.2 seconds. It may not sound like an average entry-level car, but in this case, it is. The Panamera 4S now uses 1 liter less than its predecessor per 100 kilometers. Klaus says this 2.9 V6 twin-turbo engine runs very smoothly, and the engine doesn't suffer from turbo lag because it's made with a whole new technology. The Panamera can do up to 290 kilometers per hour and runs smoothly.
Und selbst da, bei hohen Geschwindigkeiten, kommen keine Unsicherheiten auf. Also Kompliment.
Many rejected the first-generation Panamera for its somewhat ugly rear design. The new model has massively improved on this. The trunk in the redesigned rear has a volume of 500 liters without having to fold down the rear seats. This new Panamera comes with a new steering concept in the back and in the cockpit as well. Our car tester says he's glad the buttons on the middle console have been scrapped. Now, it has a touchscreen, and there's also this multi-purpose 12.3-inch display. Klaus says you can even hook up Porsche Connect or Apple Connect. The round digital instruments are appealing as well. Only the tachometer remains an analog device. The Porsche Panamera combines both comfort and sportiness. One way it can do this is the optional adaptive air suspension, available for just over 2,000 euros in Germany. Klaus says now drive modes are changed using this little dial. The suspension can be set to normal, sport, or even Sport Plus. Sport Plus makes everything a little stiffer and racier, and it's even possible to select your very own settings. Klaus takes the Panamera up a winding mountain road that's been blocked off for test driving. He's driving in Sport Plus mode to test the optional rear axle steering and torque vectoring. A computer calculates the car's condition in real time and then adjusts all systems to the situation for an optimal driving experience. Klaus speeds up the mountain. He's disabled the Porsche stability management, but the car still remains very stable while accelerating.
Und trotzdem, beim Herausbeschleunigen ist das Auto sehr sicher zu bewegen.
The rear swerves a little, but this new Panamera 4S comes with four-wheel drive enhancing stability. But Klaus warns that only expert drivers should disable the Porsche stability management.
Wirklich nur ein Profi machen.
Porsche's engineers have made the new Panamera even sportier. The optional rear axle steering makes it more maneuverable. This system is already in Porsche's 911. Klaus's verdict? The Panamera's a real racer. It's more advanced than the previous generation and looks better too. The entry-level model starts at 113,000 euros. Klaus knows that's a hefty price, but thinks that's a lot of bang for your buck.
Nicht gerade wenig, aber man bekommt auch eine ganze Menge.
Over 600 reporters from around the world came to Berlin for the unveiling of Skoda's new compact SUV. It's called As Strong as a Bear. And to press the point home, the Czech unit of the Volkswagen Group named the model after one of the biggest bear species on Earth, Alaska's Kodiak. Skoda's CEO Bernhard Meyer explains that compact SUVs are the fastest growing segment in the global car market. That's why they decided to develop this model, one that in typical Skoda fashion would shoot for the upper end of the segment. The make stands for spacious vehicles with advanced functionality and lots of clever details. The Skoda Kodiak also appeals to the emotions. It has an expressive design inside and out. The customers love it.
Exterieur als auch im Interieur gestaltet haben und das kommt bei unseren Kunden sensationell gut an.
This is pretty exciting.
There is a town named Kodiak in Alaska, and just for an ad from Skoda, it even changed its name to Kodiak with a Q instead of a K at the end, in honor of the new SUV.
This SUV drives all over the world.
The mayor, Pat Branson, came to Berlin for the vehicle's world premiere and handed Skoda's CEO the keys to her Kodiak.
Skoda asked us to put the Q to be representative of their new SUV, and so we did that for a day. It was great fun, and even some people in Kodiak thought it was a permanent change, but it wasn't. But we would do it again. It was great fun, and we're very honored to have the new SUV of Skoda's named after our community.
The exterior is clear-cut. The lines are three-dimensional, no fussy or unnecessary details. The Kodiak is an unmistakable presence on the road. It's a beefy, brawny kind of bear. There's one thing that Kodiak Mayor Pat Branson says is a real pity.
There aren't any Skodas in America. They don't sell them here. But so we hope that that changes and they bring all their models over, especially the Kodiak one. We'd love to see it. It's a beautiful car.
It is 4 meters 70 long and comes with 5 or 7 seats, all big enough for most adults. The dashboard is designed for clarity, and there is plenty of stowage space. The infotainment system is state-of-the-art. The Kodiak is the first Skoda that lets you go online whenever you want. Photographers from near and far were evidently quite excited by the snazzy new vehicle. When the Kodiak launches in early 2017, it'll offer a choice of 5 engines, 2 TDIs and 3 TSIs, delivering between 92 and 140 kilowatts of power. The entry-level TDI's fuel consumption is rated at 5 liters per 100 kilometers. Non-fossil fuel power units are said to be in the works. 4 of the 5 versions can be had with electronic all-wheel drive. And when you've reached the end of the road, you can select off-road mode, which adapts suspension, engine management, and brakes to rough terrain. The price in Germany starts at 26,000 euros. Hyundai has unveiled its first all-electric vehicle, the Ioniq. Its lithium-ion polymer batteries have a range of up to 280 kilometers on a charge. It takes 23 minutes at best to bring the battery up to 80%, depending on the charging station. But it can take 12 hours to recharge completely on a household outlet. Prices for all-electric Hyundai start at 33,000 euros in Germany. With a few weeks to go until the IAA Commercial Vehicles Fair in Hanover later this month, Volkswagen has presented its new generation Crafter in Frankfurt. It comes in 4 basic models with 3 lengths and heights. The new 2-liter TDI engine was developed especially for the Crafter. It's offered in 4 performance levels from 75 to 130 kilowatts. VW offers front, rear, and all-wheel drive with both manual and automatic transmissions. Car tester Michelle Assenmacher says the Mazda 3 is serious competition for the Volkswagen Golf, and unlike it, the Mazda also comes in sedan and fastback versions. Hatchback or fastback? That is the question. Since the Mazda 3 was introduced in 2003, it has been praised for its excellent driving dynamics. Now in its third generation, it not only handles well, but is also very comfortable. Mazda calls its design philosophy Kodo, soul of motion. It's about muscular vigor, dynamic poise, plus elegant detail. Its distinctive front, body lines, and powerful stance embody this philosophy. The model we are testing is the 2.2-liter diesel producing 110 kilowatts of power with sports nav trim. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 8.1 seconds. The price in Germany is just over 25,500 euros. The signature Mazda face featuring the wing grille flows seamlessly around the sleek bi-xenon headlights, enhancing the car's sporty, dynamic presence. The sculpted forms create an impression of powerful forward movement. The stance is strong and wide. Character lines flow along the body, inspired, the company says, by the powerful, smooth movement of nature. The problem with sedans in general is the limited height of the trunk, but here in the Mazda 3 the opening is nice and wide, and she prefers the look of a sedan.
Zudem gefällt mir das Stufenheck einfach optisch besser.
The interior is clean and uncluttered. All the instruments are in easy reach. There is a pleasing counterpoint between the cockpit's chrome detailing and its dark tones. The Mazda 3's interior resembles that of Mazda's other models. It's neat, serious, and spacious without being cavernous. Michelle doesn't feel squeezed in behind the wheel or lost in space. The Mazda 3 hugs the road. The handling is impeccable. Mazda's Sky Active technology, focused on lowering weight to enhance performance and efficiency, gets the best out of the engines, increasing torque while lowering CO2 emissions and fuel consumption. Michelle says the 110-kilowatt diesel engine makes this a fun car to drive. It's responsive, and the ride is nice and sporty. The Sky Active body is both lightweight and ultra-strong, and the Sky Active chassis provides an ideal blend of precise handling and ride comfort. The result is a dynamic, nimble drive. It is really fun, even on a routine run, to work or to the supermarket. It's a bug's life on the Baltic. That's one way to sum up the Beetle Sunshine Tour, a meeting every summer of the world's largest Beetle fan community. This year's motto was, "Crazy, not for sheeple." A highlight was a rally with different starting points, converging on one location, the fairgrounds by the Travemünde beach. This year, a good 650 tuned and lovingly designed VWs from 3 generations came together, a new record for the Beetle Sunshine Tour. This woman admits this is a huge community and everyone's a bit wacky. The wackier, the funnier. The motto says crazy, and that's why everybody looks the way they do. These girls from Berlin say they have a shark alert. They confirm it's a great community. They've been coming here for years and enjoy it every time. They meet lots of people they know. They say the car is a cult. Besides, it's fun.
Es macht Spaß.
There's lots of room for creativity. A pirate saber can be a dipstick. Many Beetle owners give their imaginations free rein when customizing their rides. Among the star tuners is Sidney Hoffman. He's gotten extremely creative with his own Beetle. He says anyone who knows him also knows the Beetle he's had since 2012, the RSI before that, and the Bug before that. He's a Beetle man. Many people might laugh and ask, what do you want with a Beetle? You just have to drive one, and you'll know. Whether a Minnie Mouse, a little blue monster, or a Pokemon, every Beetle lover is welcome here. This young woman explains that her Beetle was originally her everyday car. She enjoys convertibles, riding low and loud. But when that got inconvenient for daily driving, she bought the Beetle. Now she loves the sense of community here. Everyone greets her and smiles when she's driving around. The Beetle brings people together. And hemispheres together. In a very basic way, the Beetle is ideally suited for long-distance adventure. This gentleman recounts that he drove his Beetle from Shanghai to Hamburg 10 years ago, 15,000 kilometers without any trouble. He didn't even change the air filter. He drove through the sand and gravel of the Gobi Desert with no problems at all, except one, in Russia. He had to fill up on diesel. The car only made it another 200 meters, so he unscrewed the tap in the fuel tank, let the 30 liters of diesel run out, and filled it back up with gasoline.
Abgelassen, die 30 Liter, und dann haben wir den Benzin nachgekriegt.
He loves the car because it holds so many memories for him and his wife. They've been driving it for some 30 years, and he puts a lot of pleasure and love into his care. He doesn't need to drive fast. He just wants to enjoy the ride. He drives for the fun of it. That's why he spent 3.5 months driving to China.
Und darum war auch die Reise nach China 3,5 Monate lang.
For some Beetle owners, the car is like a family member. People and cars of different generations even share certain features, such as these two green bugs. This young man describes their two cars as mother and daughter. They've named the 1962 model Johanna and the 1998 model Louisa. Inside, they're almost identical. The same upholstery, leather, and even stretch headliners. They removed the center consoles, old parking brake levers and brake calipers, and put in new gearshift levers for a real vintage look. They only finished the week before. They repainted and converted the body, put on stone guards and back, and reupholstered the seats. All in all, it took them about a year to do the work, so this is the premiere. This is the Beetle Sunshine Tour's 12th year. Sidney Hoffman has attended for several years now. Together with rapper MC Fitty, he's got an essential function to perform. The Beetle Walk is a kind of fashion show for the most imaginative VW designs. Among them is a hot rod-worthy powerhouse and graffiti on wheels in gaudy colors. And of course, the green mother and daughter are also on hand. The glorious climax is the premiere of the new Beetle, due on showroom floors next year. The bumpers, colors, and materials are brand new. This classic never seems to grow old. To some, it's simply the new Beetle. To others, it's the stuff of dreams and a source of inspiration for entirely new and individual customizations. Many of them will also be swarming to next year's meet in Travemünde on the Baltic. It was a star on every road it traveled, and Mercedes was keen to mention that in its advertising. On the 280e, the star shined from the front, the back, and all around the world. The top-of-the-line model was known to insiders as the W114, and in Germany as the Stroke 8 for the year of its launch, 1968. The series reached its zenith in 1972 with the 280e sedan. Most of the 280s had a four-cylinder engine under the hood. They were aimed at customers who felt they were not quite ready for the S-Class. Starting in the early 1970s, the 280s numbered among the fastest sedans on German roads. A newly developed 2.8-liter six-cylinder engine gave the sedan the time-impressive 185 horsepower and broke the key 200-kilometer-an-hour mark. Mercedes marketed the W114 and 115 series as the new generation models, and in fact, they were thoroughly new, with a newly engineered chassis, an emphasis on quality, durability, and a high passive safety. An old PR film explains that all Mercedes-Benz cars are built on the same principle: crumple zones that yield on impact with a rigid safety zone in the middle, the passenger compartment. Part of the energy from a front-end collision is absorbed by the front section. Up to a given strength of impact, the passenger compartment remains stable. The same applies in a rear-end collision. The impact crushes the rear end while the safety zone remains functional. The passenger compartment's doors can still be opened. The Mercedes-Benz steering column had 4 safety features. The steering gear was just behind the front axle, and the column telescoped so it wouldn't push into the passenger compartment itself. In a collision, a generous padded hub with an impact absorber installed right below catches the driver and cushions the blow. So the 280's occupants could rest assured they were well protected, and in this model, nicely pampered, with luxury appointments including real leather upholstery and air conditioning. But then, as now, all this safety and luxury had its price. Marcus Diamant notes that what's special about this particular car was the combination of performance and features. It was in most respects outfitted like an S-Class with genuine leather, electric windows, and a sunroof, every feature available at that time. This was no cushy status symbol for the senior citizenry. The 280e's engine performance could hold its own with any sports car of the 70s. The sedan moved from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 9 seconds, with a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour. But the six-cylinder guzzled 14 liters of gas for every 100 kilometers. A newly designed straight six-cylinder with dual overhead camshafts was the biggest engine made for the series. It was powerful and achieved RPMs rather unusual for Mercedes. The engine was also used in the sporty SL and S-Class. The W114 was a common sight on German roads well into the 1990s. Marcus Diamant says the car was one of Mercedes' most popular, and yet on closer inspection it proves to be an exceptionally fine model that still draws appreciative looks on the streets.
Dann bekommt man schon sehr anerkennende Blicke, würde ich sagen.
Today, a 280 in good condition can go for upwards of 14,000 euros. One with lots of extras like this one would fetch considerably more.